Welcome to our podcast, Done Right, where we explain to you the objective way that things are done right.
Hi, my name is Dr. Andrew Davidson. I'm a doctor of jazz performance and master of canine psychology, along with many other degrees that I definitely have. And these are my two co-hosts, Lucas Sparrow.
Yo, what's up?
And Beric Probus. Beric Probus.
Yep, that's me.
Yep. How we doing, gentlemen?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Eric, what is your favorite time of the year?
I actually hadn't thought about this, but probably Christmas.
Yeah. I'd say that's the same for me. What about you, Lucas?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, that's fantastic because that's just before Christmas, which is what we're here to talk about. We're going to be discussing this topic that I think a lot of people just need to hear really good advice on. And that just reminds me, if you're listening to this, be sure to like and subscribe, of course, but also be sure to share this video with your friends and family and enemies because they're going to need this advice. Our topic is Christmas done right, and we're going to start by doing a bunch of different categories related to Christmas and what we know to be the objective, ideal way that everybody should conform to pertaining to these. Our first category is Christmas songs. You know, I think when it comes to Christmas songs, variety is really important, and you should always have great variety every year. Starting this year, first, of course, sacred ones are always nice. I think Good Christian Men Rejoice is good. O Holy Night, I Wonder as I Wander, O Come All Ye Faithful. These are all fantastic. These are at the top of my list. And then traditional Christmas songs, such as Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, White Christmas, and Do You Hear What I Hear, are very important to have on your playlists. And then, of course, be sure to have some non-traditional, but also fun Christmas songs. And I include Feliz Navidad, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, We Need a Little Christmas, and for us bass voices, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. That's what I have. What do you guys think? Lucas, what do you think about those?
Well, my philosophy on songs is that only the ones in minor keys are worth a major amount of my attention. So, only minor Christmas songs such as O Holy Night and O Come Emmanuel are worth my time. I used to really like Mary Did You Know, but I've decided now that song is kind of dumb.
Agreed.
So, Eric, what do you think?
Andy, to jump back to some of yours,
Sure.
Oh Holy Night, actually, I find quite overrated. I don't know if it's just the amount of times that I've heard it.
Yeah.
But it really don't really like it that much anymore. O Come Emmanuel, Lucas. Great one.
See, I think
I love that.
I used to love O Come, I've arranged O Come Emmanuel many times for different instruments, different ensembles. And I think it's way overplayed today, just every year. Oh Holy Night, I used to really hate because I think there was a version that like Ella Fitzgerald did or something that I didn't really like. But I've come to really appreciate that one and the rich harmonies in that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like O Come Emmanuel I've heard much less than O Holy Night. So maybe it's just past experience. But I feel like O Holy Night I've heard over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree. I feel like the minor key ones definitely have much more of an interesting sound to them.
Yeah, I will say O Holy Night I definitely think is very beautiful. O Come Emmanuel, the thing is, I think I heard it way too much last year, but I have not listened to it very much since that. And the other night it came on in the car, and having it not listened to it for a while, I was like, wow, I'm happy that this is on right now, I was like singing along with it. It was very enjoyable.
Oh, that's very scary to picture you singing along with any song. Well, I think from this discussion on Christmas songs, we can conclude, of course, have a good variety, but don't forget to really emphasize your sacred Christmas songs every year, especially those in a minor key, because they do make a major difference. I think we can all agree on that. And of course, never sing when there are other people around. I think that's the right way to do Christmas songs. Next category. Now we have graham cracker or gingerbread houses. I guess I'll go first with this because I don't have much to say. First, I've never even heard of graham cracker houses. It sounds cool, I guess, but to be honest, I just never saw the point with gingerbread houses, you know, and they always look messy, no matter who makes them. And yeah. Also, Shrek ruined gingerbread men for me. You know, just thought I'd put that out there.
Well, see, this is a tradition in our family to do gingerbread houses every year. And I used to participate in this tradition, but I have since blocked it out of my life because I always got it. Well, it's just boring, and it's also triggering because stupid things fall apart. And it's also annoying because I just want to eat it, okay? Here's the thing about graham crackers, okay? They're a great snack, but I want them in my mouth, not on my bookshelf. Okay.
Great quote.
Seriously. Like, yeah. What do you think, Eric?
Okay. This is very traditional for my family, though more recently. I would say like the last 5 years, this thing we've done. So, Andy, you said you haven't heard of graham cracker houses before.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so it's an easy alternative to gingerbread houses. You got gingerbread houses, but that takes time. So either you're buying a kit, and then it's not unique, it's not interesting, right? Or you're having to make the gingerbread yourself, and that's going to take up a decent amount of time. Now, the alternative is graham crackers. So you still make the frosting. Frosting's the same, you get the same type of decorations, but instead you make whatever you're making out of graham crackers. And so my family, we've had a traditional competition the last several years. Very intense. And every year we kind of get more and more items for said competition. So right now, actually, we haven't done it yet this year, but we have a laundry basket full of graham crackers and candy and all sorts of decorations for this competition to come. And usually it's my dad that wins it. He kind of blows everybody else away. Last year he made a cathedral. The year before that he made a replica of our house, and then before that, the Kansas City Symphony building in downtown. They all looked great. The rest of us were decent, but nowhere close to that. So usually the winner isn't really in question. We all just kind of assume that he's going to run away with it. But it's still interesting trying to come up with a unique idea of what to do. And you really can't, especially now that we've been doing it for several years and we all kind of have a better idea of what works, what doesn't. You can really come up with some interesting and unique stuff. And once you get down to the point where you're like carving graham crackers into the proper shapes that you need, that's when you know you've made it.
Have you ever thought about how much you wanted to eat it?
Yeah.
While your dad was making it?
Well, no. You do that afterwards.
Oh, that's what you do. Oh, we always just throw away the thing afterwards.
No. Well, okay, you throw away some of it.
Ever heard of don't play with your food?
Well, and there's a strategy to that part as well. For instance, we did this with another family one time, and one of the younger kids from the other family, he just kind of gave up on making something that would win. He decided to make a junkyard. And what that meant was he took all his favorite candies, and he kind of threw it on a pile on his base piece of cardboard, called it good, and then afterwards, when all was said and done, he had all this candy to eat that he liked.
That's a smart kid.
Yeah. Not only are you trying to make like a good house, but you're trying to incorporate some of the best candies. You're not going to eat all your house, but when you finish, you get your pictures, you post it on social media. Then you take the parts of it that you put in there, maybe not because it was the best decision for the house, but because you really like Rolos or something, So that's definitely there's kind of a balancing effect going on. You're trying to incorporate the candies you love as much as you can, while still making the final product look incredible.
Interesting. So it's like a whole science, I guess.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
we could really make this a sport, like have a graham cracker house competition every year.
Live
In fact,
commentary.
yeah, exactly. Live commentary like we're doing right now to each other, and like stadiums. I'm talking, and like unlimited resources, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, that way. In fact, it doesn't even have to be once a year. It can be a whole league. Like I said, it just goes on year round, and there can be like champions. Well, I think we can all agree how to do graham cracker or gingerbread houses correct, the right way this year. Choose graham cracker over gingerbread because it's usually much more versatile and allows for more unique possibilities. And don't be like me and throw it away afterwards. Make sure you eat your mess after you make it. Next category. Setting up decorations. Okay, so I think there's only one decoration that is necessary to set up, and that is the Christmas tree. And beyond that, I should not be the one to set it up. Another fun thing my family has done for years is this little nativity scene puzzle, that you put up another character every day until Christmas, and baby Jesus is the last person you put up. And I think that's cute, though unnecessary, and I should also not be the one to set it up. My roommate decided to decorate our whole dorm room, and like every year it's horrible. It's like our dorm room's decorated for a month, and it's at first it's nice, but then I get all Christmased out. And
I like a little bit of a minimalistic setup. Okay, I got a little Christmas tree, like a tiny little Christmas tree. It's like it's a foot and a half tall, and I got like this little snowman dude. This like old other thing, we won't talk about it. But yeah, a little minimalist setup, like John Cage.
Do not speak his name.
John Cage is a great example for Christmas, not for music. I'll put it that way. But anyways, the main thing that is the best decoration is hanging lights from your ceiling. It makes your room feel very homey. And honestly, this is something I like year round. It doesn't even have to be a Christmas decoration, okay? It just makes your room feel homey, all right? And I like having a homey feeling room.
But like, what if you're short?
Get a chair.
I mean, the point of decorations is, to make your environment nicer to live in, and to inspire a certain feeling for you every time, it doesn't even have to be when you're looking at it, when you're around it. But I feel like one of the cons is the amount of time and effort that you have to waste just putting them up.
Well, see, the benefit of this is that you put it up once and then you never take it down because it's year round. And you call it a Christmas decoration when Christmas comes around, and when Christmas goes away, you just say it's something you have up in your room because you like it.
Do you put any ornaments on your tree, or you just kind of leave the tree up by itself?
There's ornaments on my tree. I actually didn't even set up the tree in my room this year. My mom put it up.
Do you leave the ornaments on year round?
No. My Christmas tree isn't up year round. See, I have a very minimalist. Like literally, I can just pull it out, put it up, and be done in 10 seconds. Unless you put the ornaments on, which I didn't this year, but even the ornaments would probably take like 5 minutes. It's a very simple setup,
I'm a big fan of Christmas tree. I agree. I think, Andy, that's a necessary decoration. You got to have a tree. After that, I mean, you mentioned a nativity. I don't think I would call that necessary, but certainly think it's nice. Aside from that, I'm not too big of a fan of a lot of lights. I mean, I appreciate big light shows with other houses. We actually have a house 2 blocks from us that we've nicknamed the Crazy House because they go all out as far as lights. They even have like a spotlight you can see from over 3 miles away coming down the highway. You can see their spotlight in the sky. So they're insane. There's cars lined up on that street just to watch them every night you pass by there. So I appreciate that. Maybe I wouldn't appreciate it if they were right across from us on our street, but certainly I appreciate seeing it. As far as personal use goes, though, I don't think I'm that much of a fan. Inflatables, not really. Kind of all of the more big, extravagant outdoor stuff, not as much a fan. Maybe a little bit of Christmas lights. But I think for the most part, looking at kind of a tree, some nice Christmas decorations inside, some Christmas themed objects. But yeah.
So yeah, I think as far as setting up decorations goes, I don't know, guys. What should we tell the audience? Christmas trees necessary, as we'll hit in the next category, of course.
Don't go too crazy.
Don't go too yeah. Be sensitive to your neighbors and really to yourself, and to your roommates. I won't expound on that anymore. Next category, which, as we said, is the Christmas tree. As I said, this is the only essential Christmas decoration, and it must include lights, I think. Also, the ornaments must be scattered all over the tree from the top to the bottom and front and back. If you're too short, then, I don't know, get a step stool. You cannot mess this up, okay? This is critical. Like, only essential part to Christmas. You can't mess it up. Also, I think cringe pictures of you from your childhood make great ornaments. And finally, put a star at the top of the tree. Some people do like an angel or something, but I think this is inappropriate because angels inhabit the spiritual realm, not really the physical world above. So I think stars make more sense, personally.
Well, setting up the Christmas tree, I think it makes good sense for there to be a nice Christmas tree in every house. I think if you get a real Christmas tree instead of an aluminum one, you have good taste, but I will not respect you because I'm just kidding. You can do what you want. Actually, I kind of want to get a real tree myself once I'm like in my own home.
I don't know. I have this weird irrational fear of like bringing bugs into the house or something.
Yeah, that's my problem, but I don't think... I mean, there's bugs in my house anyway, so...
Great, thanks, Andy. I hadn't even thought about that, but now I have no choice but to have that as a consideration in my mind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have never had a real tree. I'm not that interested in having one. I think if there is an opportunity, I'd probably take it, but I'm not going to put a whole lot of effort into it. So we've always used artificial tree. I think it works great. We could definitely stand to buy a new one probably. But yeah, I think artificial tree's fine. Load it up with ornaments and decorations. I think the entire tree should be covered. At least the part of it you can see. If you want to leave, like if you've got your tree kind of in a corner, it's fine, I think, to leave the back of it with less decorations, but...
See, I disagree.
Oh, okay.
You know, you have to show the whole tree love. You know, it's like a religious thing. Also, if you're anything like my family, you have way too many ornaments for the tree, and you have nowhere else to put them except on the back side. You know, sometimes inside the tree.
True. Yeah. No, I think lots of ornaments is great. If you have enough to cover the entire tree as well, then absolutely. But every square inch, every branch needs an ornament. Definitely not. I don't know, Lucas, maybe you would disagree with that. You were saying you have more of a minimalistic setup. I don't know if that extends to ornaments.
Listen, man, if I'm not the one setting up the tree, I could care less.
Okay.
The reason I put ornaments all around the tree is that the tree doesn't fall over. Not because I want the back of the tree to be loved. I could care less about the back of the tree.
I guess that's fair.
I'm more of a practical person, you know.
How many trees do you guys have?
I have a ridiculous amount of trees in my house. Actually, it's not as bad as it used to be.
I mean, we only have one, and I think that's really all we need.
I think I kind of like that. Like the idea of only having one tree. It's an idea I've never known because it seems like I've always had like at least like 8 trees in my house.
Yeah.
See, this sort of overlaps with the last one, because like if you really do want another tree, but you don't have room for it, like go outside and just put lights and maybe a couple ornaments on a tree, you know, in your front yard. For us, we do cacti. You know, we put lights on our cacti in our front yard because that's all we got. Because
Weird Arizonians.
we're Utahns, but thank you very much.
Utah. Sorry, my bad. Same thing. No, we have 2 trees. So we have kind of our main one in our living room, but we also have a little alcove above our entryway door, and with a window. One of those kind of right above the door window, little alcove space. And so we will put a tree up there that's visible from the window. The only problem with that is that it requires a ladder. So it then requires a decent amount of effort to get it up there and get it back down. So the last couple of years, it's gone up there, and then it's kind of just stayed there. Well past Christmas. Sometimes even until around July. Until somebody is able to get it down. So it looks great. It's just a decent amount of work getting up there, getting it down.
Sounds like it would look neat from the street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think, you know, anything for the audience to take away from this, of course, like we've said several times already, you got to have a Christmas tree, you know. And I don't care if it's like a stick that you put an ornament on. It's an essential part of Christmas, you know, and at least one, ornaments on the whole thing, and fake trees are objectively better than real trees. Next category. When does the Christmas season begin? Okay. Christmas begins on Black Friday, but you should not get serious about Christmas until December 15th. It is inappropriate to celebrate Christmas before Black Friday. Also, you should not even listen to Christmas music unless you're practicing it for December events like the abused musician you are.
Mm-hmm. A necessary evil. You know, I definitely agree. No Christmas until after Thanksgiving. So I'm pretty hard set on that. I think maybe in the last couple of years I give a little bit more wiggle room. It's July. You haven't listened to any Christmas music in a while. Maybe once. Yeah, listen to your favorite Christmas song maybe once. Like just, you know.
I mean, I think there are some that you can do that with. Like Sleigh Ride you can listen to any time of the year.
Sure.
I agree with that.
Not to mention, you know, all of the sacred Christmas songs that we talked about earlier. You know, those are all obviously they invoke certain nostalgic feelings that you should try to reserve for Christmas, but you know, those have rich messages to them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but if you're listening to Christmas music regularly throughout the year, I mean, I know what people are going to say because I've heard it already many times. You know, people will say, oh, it doesn't, you know, I love it just as much all year round. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, the more you listen to it, you might still enjoy it. You're still going to love it. But I'm telling you, you save it all for just those couple weeks of Christmas season. You're going to enjoy listening to each of them more during that time. You wait, you make it special, and come after the day after Thanksgiving, you're going to enjoy listening to that Christmas music so much more in that time than you would if you listen to it all year round. You just got to try it. You got to believe me on this one. Lucas, what do you think about all this?
Well, I'm definitely going to have to agree that I'm going to agree with Andy. Black Friday, not until Black Friday may you start celebrating Christmas, because, well, you see, you might yell at me for being a Grinch for saying that, but you see, you, by celebrating Christmas early, are causing me to be more of a Grinch, because I have a very limited capacity for Christmas spirit, and when you start it early, you're burning up that Christmas spirit, and it's precious. Okay, it doesn't last that long. So by the time we actually get to Christmas, it's all gone because of you. You wasted my Christmas spirit.
Wow.
Pretty strong words.
That's a very personal message. I think it was well worded, though.
I don't know. I don't think I'm quite that far, but I agree with the sentiment. It was interesting to hear you say, Andy, you were talking about December 15th setting. So, I mean, you have kind of like a no Christmas before this date, but then you also have like no serious celebration or Christmas consideration until after the 15th. So I hadn't heard that one before. I don't think I would quite go that far.
But I think it's really good to be specific about this kind of stuff. Especially when there's more and more people who insist on celebrating Christmas the day after Halloween.
That's unacceptable. You heard it here, boys. This is the only good place for advice. Not until after Thanksgiving.
You heard it, folks. Straight from the most professional sources, Christmas should not even begin to be celebrated until after Thanksgiving, Black Friday at the earliest. There's some wiggle room for some Christmas music year-round, I think. But, I don't know. Probably best to be safe than sorry. Next category. Weirdest, interesting / unique Christmas traditions. You know, I think this whole Santa Claus thing is weird and certainly interesting. It never makes sense why a person would want their kid to believe in a fat guy who trespasses and leaves presents when the parents could otherwise have opportunity to take credit for those presents, for which they would have leverage for future arguments with their kid when they are a teenager. See, I guess when Santa brings all the presents and then the parents are essentially useless, I think it's not healthy for the kids. So that's the biggest Christmas tradition. I think it's, you know, it's a neat thing. It's weird. It's really good as far as the commercial side of Christmas goes, but it's just, I don't know, it's so messed up in other ways.
Hey, he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Better watch out.
Well, I don't have to watch out for him because thankfully he's not real. And I'm not going to teach my kids that he's real because that's, well, I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of lying. So, get wrecked.
Yeah, I don't have much of a problem with Santa Claus in general. I don't think I would ever act like he's real to my kids, though. So I agree on all of that.
So what interesting traditions do you guys have, do you think should be a part of Christmas? Or do you think should not be a part of Christmas that many people do?
Well, I got one I want to share with you guys. So, let me tell you, and I think some of the people listening might be familiar with this. Certainly some of the people I've met are familiar with this. It's the Christmas pickle. Alright, now you're probably a little bit weirded out by that at first, but you gotta hear me out. This is a great thing. So, it's an ornament called the Christmas pickle. It's about the same shade of green as the tree you have, or preferably it's that way. And the way it works is Christmas morning, whoever's in charge of the gift openings hides the pickle ornament somewhere in the tree. All right, and of course it's going to blend in pretty well. And then it's everybody else's job to try and find the Christmas pickle, and whoever can find it first gets to open the first present.
Interesting. I feel like there are many ways to cheat with that, though.
Such as.
Like, I mean, you could like wake up early and, find it and then place it in a specific place so you can remember, then go back
Well,
to
I mean,
bed.
you do it once everybody's up. Like right before you go to open presents, you have everybody leave the room. Whoever's hiding it hides the Christmas pickle. Then you have everybody come in, look for it.
Well, you can also, if you know what it looks like, you can find an identical one online on like eBay or
That's
something.
true.
And get yourself a Christmas present that happens to be that, except you open it before Christmas and you use that to advance your own Christmas present opening,
No, you're giving me some good ideas I hadn't thought about beforehand.
Yeah.
So I
try
appreciate
this
that.
and you'll corrupt it forever. And
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will get the first gift every single Christmas.
I wish I did not tell that to you. I guess to our audience, Christmas traditions are generally overrated. Don't lie to your kids about Santa Claus. It's just, I don't mean to tell you how to parent your kids, but seriously, just think it over before you do that. And cherish your traditions, but don't worship them. I think is always very important. Perhaps try to forget what I said about the Christmas pickle stuff, so that it maintains some purity. And next category. Okay, so this one should be pretty fast and easy. Eggnog. Yay or nay?
Absolutely. Eggnog is the best drink there is, period. There is nothing better. That's all I have to say on it. And you're wrong if you disagree. That is all I have to say on it.
I've never had eggnog and I never plan to.
You sad.
Sounds kind of gross. And also, I'm just saying, like, you're supposed to eat eggs, not drink them. That's just, come on. Eggs taste very good scrambled. But, like, no.
Well, I wonder what percent of eggnog is egg. It says here the FDA's current definition of eggnog requires only 1% egg yolk solids, along with a certain level of butter, fat, and milk products. So, eggnog doesn't even have to have that much egg in it. I'm sure there's like a serving size that most people prefer, but...
Yeah, I really don't care what's in it. It tastes good. Okay, Lucas, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. There is no better drink. There isn't.
I would think I would disagree, because the best drink is water.
I'm sorry, Eric, that's 2 against 1. Eggnog, stay away from it this Christmas and tell your friends to do the same. Next category. When do you shop for gifts? Okay. You should not shop for Christmas gifts until at least 10 days before Christmas. I did my Christmas shopping this year. I think almost exactly 10 days before Christmas. Like 9 or 10 days, yeah. And here's the reason for that. You don't want to do it too early. Because you want to do it when people are rushing to the store, people who forgot, to get Christmas presents for their nephews and stuff. If you do it later, it will be more hectic, and then at Christmas, you'll be able to say, hey man, you have no idea what I went through to get this for you. And I think that sort of thing makes presents more personal,
Like I've already established, okay? I'm a practical person, okay? If you wait till... I just did my Christmas shopping today, or some of it at least. And, I went into Hobby Lobby, and the Christmas sales had already started. The sales that they do to get rid of all their Christmas stuff, because, no one bought it. So, so I was able to get my mom a pretty nice gift that was like $50, except it was a big sale, so I got it for like less than $20. So I'd say that's pretty good.
That's pretty nice. Yeah, I'd say the longer you wait too, the cheaper it gets. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, so I actually just finished shopping today, which today is the day before Christmas Eve. And I think my preference would probably be to be done with it quite a bit earlier, I would definitely recommend. Actually, I mean, I get it, Andy. I understand your argument, but I think really getting it done with a week, 2 weeks before, I think that's the best time to have gotten everything figured out, or at least have ideas for what presents you want to get. But usually for me, it all ends up only coming together in the last couple days before Christmas.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think, it's not wise to just not think about it at all, though, until the last second. I mean, maybe you can get away doing that for 1 or 2 people, but when you have like a whole family you're getting presents for, and you haven't thought about it until December 24th, you're in a bit of a pickle at that point.
Yeah, Christmas pickle. Huh, funny.
Yeah, you're in a
funny
Christmas
how
pickle.
That happens.
I suppose we can agree. Don't do your Christmas shopping too early. Put a little thought into it beforehand, but wait until, I don't know, I would say 10 days. I guess we can give you a little more leeway on that. But more than 10 days is just unacceptable. Next category. We have 2 categories left. This next one is presents. So what about presents? How do we do presents right? Okay, I think only 15% of Christmas presents should actually be appropriate for the person that they're for. Right? So if you have an 8-year-old son, get them like a cheap Lego set that they would like, then load them up with socks and underwear and stuff. Now for adults, it's usually appropriate to get them something versatile, like a gift card. This tells them that you don't know them well enough to get them something personal, and it gives them the hint that they should stop being antisocial at gatherings. And if gift cards are too personal, just get them some cash and it will send the same message.
Well, I do like to get people gifts. I even like to get my friends gifts, not just my family gifts, although that doesn't happen every year. Like, for example, this year, because I'm, for one thing, a poor college student, and I'm also a poor college student in time as well. So
that's a very good reason.
Yeah. So I do like to try to put thought into the gift. It's not always so simple though, and a lot of times I'll just end up like I'll just get my sisters a bunch of candy or something. I don't know. I didn't get anyone candy this year though, so I did better this year maybe. But anyways, I think the most important thing though is that however you do it, if you wrap a present, it has to be super messy, okay? Because then it's funnier on Christmas Day. And the more laughing you have on Christmas Day, the better, right?
See, I don't know how you wrap a Christmas gift nicely. I mean, every time I try, it's just, it doesn't matter how careful I am. It's just, it turns out to be horrible. It just looks like a 4-year-old did it,
Nice.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on wrapping presents.
Eric, what's your take on present?
As far as getting them, I'm a big fan of making them personal. Pretty much, I try, unless somebody has specifically asked for it, not to give gift cards or just money, something like that. So usually try and think of something the person's mentioned that they want, or just kind of what they enjoy. Games are always a good option of thinking about. So
see, very interesting. You say games. I feel like my mind, of course, being the mature adult that I am, my mind went straight to video games. And it just made me think, gifting video games to people for Christmas has changed a lot, because where it used to be, you go to GameStop or Toys R Us or something and just find the Wii disc that you want or something. Now it's like, you have to navigate the online world and purchase it, and beyond that you have to purchase it as a gift for somebody else online. So it's not even a tangible gift that you're giving. I feel like that sort of takes away from the whole unwrapping experience.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, you can still get a physical copy of whatever it is. Digital is
but
probably
for,
more
for like a
convenient.
PC game. Most PCs
Sure.
don't have
Oh, that's
disc
true.
readers.
That's true. Yeah, but I was thinking more. I mean, definitely video games. In fact, I think I'm giving video game as a gift this year. But also, my mind goes to kind of board games, card games. My family has always been big board game, card game players. So, and there's some really lots of great stuff to pick from with that.
So for our audience, I guess, we never really hashed out the whole gift cards thing. I think gift cards are good because it sends somebody a message to change their character so that people will, be able to get to know them better. But perhaps it is a little bit insensitive. So, either perhaps just get them something that you think they would want, or get them some cash so that they can get something that they would want. And also, don't feel bad if you can't afford to, with your time or with your money, get somebody a present, because it's the thought that counts. So just imagine that you're giving it to them, and that says it all right there. On to our last category. Okay, Christmas movies are actually my favorite part of Christmas. And, I guess if I were to give my top 5, they would probably go like this. Charlie Brown Christmas is number 1. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live action one. I think that one's very good. Disney's A Christmas Carol. I saw the Muppet Christmas Carol for the first time this year. I think it's fun, but I think Disney's animation of it was pretty good. Speaking of animation, the claymation Rudolph. I used to hate it so much, but now I think the music's kind of groovy. And number 5 would have been the Polar Express. But I think after seeing It's a Wonderful Life now twice, I think I like it a little bit more. So that's going to go in slot number 5, but only the color version.
Yeah, so I watched the non-color version of It's a Wonderful Life for the first time this year, and it stressed me out a lot. Not a good movie. Don't watch black and white. It's a Colorful Life. I've never seen the color version, but I'm gonna assume that it's probably still stressful. But for the sake of continuity, we'll pretend it's fine. But yeah, I'm honestly, oh man, I kind of feel less and less enthusiastic about Christmas movies every year. But I feel like I'm missing a lot of these old classics. Like, what did you say was that Rudolph one? The claymation one or something? Yeah, I used to love those movies. The Rudolph one and, like, the Jack Frost one. The Santa Claus ones. The Miser Brothers are a meme. Yeah, those movies are good. But I don't think we own them anymore, and it's really sad. Or actually, I don't know if we ever owned them in the first place, actually. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty basic in my Christmas movies. I don't even know if I could give a top 5, because we haven't really watched that many. I've seen It's a Wonderful Life before. I think only once, though. It was fine. I'm sure there's many people that love it a lot more than what my opinion of it is. I thought it was a good movie, but not my favorite. I definitely like Elf a lot. We kind of have a tradition of watching that.
See, I've never seen Elf.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
I will say right now, I felt physical. No, like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I've ever felt so much cringe as I have when I watched that. Like,
that's what makes it so
that
funny.
Movie
though.
is so cringy. It's painful.
Yeah.
It's
So I
literally,
mean, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. So Elf is probably my favorite. After that, I don't even know. I don't know if I've seen any Grinch movies. Just probably a crime. But I like Charlie Brown Christmas. I haven't seen Polar Express in like 8 years, so I really don't know what I think of it. But yeah, pretty basic. So
No, that's cool. Well, I guess, some go-to Christmas movies. Definitely watch Charlie Brown Christmas this year and next year and every year. And on that note, to you guys, just keep the classics. just keep those around. Respect them, appreciate them, and we hope that our advice to you in this podcast was very helpful and that you follow it, because it is the objective way to do Christmas right. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and share this advice with all your friends and family and enemies and everybody that you know. Thank you for listening to this podcast, and we hope you have a very Merry Christmas.